match.
Oh, Pete looks interested.
You know, I'm not going to make fun of Pete for that because a lot of times I get bored sitting over there because
we make you wait.
You make him wait a long time, and now I'm doing it, so I feel bad for him.
Yeah, now you're on the other side. Now you see what it's like.
All right.
Peter Ingram coming off of a Grand Prix top 4 at Grand Prix Denver. Team GP, I know because my team lost to him in day 2.
I was hoping you were going to say in top 4.
No, I wish I could say that. I actually lost to Peter in that team match. Played a nice little game there.
All right. Well, Pete does have looks like a reasonable opener. Thought Scour, Thing in the Ice, Arclight Phoenix. Needs to find something like Faithless Looting to get the engine rolling. Looks like he has it.
So this is kind of interesting because, like, if I'm Pete Ingram, I kind of... Okay, so he doesn't know what he's playing against yet.
Yeah, it could be Death Shadow, but the fact that Benjamin didn't shock here, the jig's going to be up real soon.
If I'm Peter, though, it's time to, like, Faithless Looting my Thing in the Ice into the graveyard and, like, Thought Scour myself, Hope to hit creatures, like, stuff like that. I think he's got to do all that stuff now and hope for the best. Like, he's got to get a little fancy to win what looks to be a horrific matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Pete, you know, once he figures out what he's playing against, he's going to be putting an emphasis on what to put into the graveyard. The problem is that Benjamin can just keep cycling things and not put a living end onto the stack until he is good and ready to do so.
Well, right now, Lau does have a copy of Violent Outburst in hand. Again, don't know if Ingram actually knows what he's up against this round or not. As he'll play it, search up his team fence, enter into the battlefield tab. Now Ingram will draw a copy of Arclight Phoenix.
For all he knows, he could be playing against like a weird dredge deck to play Street Wraith, you know? You see Blackleaf Cliffs and Stomping Grounds, could be Life from the Loam.
There's Thing in the Ice.
His archetype is very well hidden right now, which is hopefully going to make for an interesting game from here on out. And it's not hidden anymore.
I was going to say, let's see how hidden it is.
Yeah, Cycle, Archfiend, Ifnir. That's in one deck.
Yep.
That is in one whole deck.
Things should no longer be hidden to Peter Ingram. And if I were Peter Ingram, I would be like, oh boy, this is bad for me.
Yeah, so Benjamin has the option here. He could just go for a Violent Outburst into Living End right now, putting Archfiend of Infear and Street Wraith onto the battlefield and getting rid of the Thing in the Ice. But I think he wants to go a little bit bigger. You want to build your graveyard just a little bit, but he's opting to go the other way.
All right, he's just saying, I'm not messing around. I'm going to play Living End right now.
Main deck, Anger of the Gods, is nice.
Yeah, he's got 1 copy, and then 3 main deck copies of Beast Within as well. So he's got some cards that go past the Cascade scale.
I might just be getting on camera all sorts of times this weekend.
That's true.
Bunch of beasts, baby.
Ingram going to take a look at the cards that Benjamin has cascaded by. Among them, Anger of the Gods, as Todd did mention, and a bunch of lands. And all of these cards are going to go to the bottom after Benjamin randomizes them. Do you want to bet Pete's not going to cut them? Oh, man, no one ever cuts the Cascade cards. You kidding?
No one ever cuts the Vivian Reed.
Really? Did you present on that one?
Yes, it's random. It's stupid.
I didn't know that, actually.
Now, I do want to point out, Benjamin does have access to a Street Wraith in hand, which he chose not to use here. He could have basically just discarded it to put it on the battlefield for free. Instead, putting a lot of value on Arclight Phoenix's return ability. You know, Pete's deck does a great job of getting Arclight Phoenix into the graveyard and putting it on the battlefield quickly. And saving that Fair Macabre is going to be hugely important here in just a minute.
Archfiend of Ifnir, 5 mana, 5/4 flyer. When you cycle or discard another card, you put a -1/-1 counter on each creature your opponent controls. Sees a little bit of play here. Rare from Amonkhet. Busted in its limited format, as Peter's going to do a lot of adding cards to his graveyard here with Thought Scours and Faithless Lootings.
Yeah, he's about to get embarrassed.
Arclight Phoenix, plural, Phoenixes, are going to come back. You're excited about something. What are you excited about?
He has a Fair Macabre in hand. He could have just got both of them.
What does he care about those? They're 3/2s.
But he just, for free, would get to exile the 2 Phoenixes.
Maybe he wants to get the Faithless Lootings. Look, I get it. I'm just saying those 3/2s, Don't care.
We're talking about they block.
Do they?
Yes.
Do they block well?
Oh, no, they don't.
There you go. I knew you'd get
Okay.
there.
All right.
You're the good one in the booth.
Okay.
I'm the mediocre washed one.
Okay, just cycle 2 things.
There he is.
Okay.
There he is. He's home. I knew you'd get there.
Man. Look, I can't.
Do those Arclight Phoenixes matter?
Dude, I can't. It's hard for me to give up that value, you know? That's why you're playing the card Fairy Macabre. You take away the graveyard-related synergy stuff.
I'm taking out those Faithless Lootings, maybe. Or that Thing in the Ice in case I have to cast another Living End. That's all I'm interested in doing with the old Fairy Macabre. Because I'm looking at these 2/3/2s and I'm just thinking, meh. Can't even attack with them. Certainly aren't going to be able to block with them well. Lau going to play a Blood Crypt tapped. Looks like he might be going to old Fulminator Mage. Yep. Take care of the Steam Vents. Well, we'll see if Lau wants to do anything else this particular turn. And we'll just pass the turn back. So he's taking a much more conservative approach to this particular game as Benjamin Lau as we head back over to Peter Ingram.
Yeah, Pete a little light on mana here for how many draw spells he's played.
Yeah.
You know, Faithless Looting, 2 copies of Thought Scour, 3 copies of Thought Scour, and it looks like he just milled over a bunch of lands.
Thing in the Ice here from Ingram is going to enter the battlefield with 4 counters, of course.
I'm pretty sure that's the Jungle Weaver, and that's game!
Yeah.
Gonna cycle that one.
How many Jungle? I haven't seen Jungle Weaver in a long time.
That boy got reach.
Is that a Jungle Weaver?
I don't know.
It's a green card.
It was green AF.
What is that? It may have been a Beast Within. Maybe one of the new Beast Withins.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. That's good for you. You wanted to be on camera.
Yeah, but not like this.
Rawr. Rawr.
What? What are you doing?
The spider Rars.
Yeah, okay.
This one, because it's so big.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it chitters.
I hope not. That's scary. It's like
Arachnophobia, the movie.
Yeah, that movie scared me a lot when I was a kid.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Extremely same.
Yes. That's why it's probably the reason I'm scared of spiders today.
Yeah.
All right, double block.
All right, so we can Beast Within 1, combat damage the other, and then now use Fairy Macabre, I guess. Or he's just letting it die.
All right, so I think I'm onto the plan here a little bit. I'm trying to piece together what Benjamin's up to, right? So maybe he'll Fairy Macabre next time, in which case then the first time that he didn't is strange. I believe he has the ability to play another copy of Living End off of a Cascade spell and wants to get some more stuff back. I'm trying to piece together what the plan is right now.
All I know is he could have attacked for a lot of damage over the last 2 turns if he had just discarded Fairy Macabre.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's looking like Benjamin is maybe trying to piece together a plan on the fly.
I think Ben might be trying to trick Pete here. The Beast Within, if he flips the Thing in the Ice, transforms it into the Awoken Horror, that actually returns the Street Wraith to his hand, which he can then cycle. And then he can cast Violent Outburst number 2.
Which you can then cycle.
That's what we call doing it.
Okay.
We're doing it.
Let's see what comes next for old Petey Boy.
Well, he's still light on lands. Because it looks like he's got Lightning Bolt, 3rd Thing in the Ice, a couple Crackling Drakes to maximize velocity, but just not enough blue mana to cast all of his blue draw spells.
Let's see what this is.
Blow up that land. Blow up that land.
Yeah, land destruction strat.
Mr. Gorbachev, blow up that land.
I'm very pro land D strat. Very, very pro.
Yeah.
All right, see you later, Island.
Oh, he gets a Todd Anderson token.
Yep.
This is the sad Todd Anderson token.
Is it going to be swept away by Living End?
Because the Beast Within's never really the 3/3s never matter in this
really.
scenario. From Thragtusk, the 3/3 matters pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Beast Within, nah. All right, let's go. What do I even want to do here? I don't even know. EOT. Let's go. Fair Macabre, the 2 Arclight Phoenixes, and then Violent Outburst. That's what I want. This attack is bold.
Look at this attack.
He can use Violent Outburst to +1 power to kill the thing in the ice of thing that blocks. And not cast the living end.
He's so stoic.
Yeah. Block.
I'm so confused.
Pete.
Yeah,
Block.
Pete doesn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thumbs up.
Yeah, there it is. Hard cast, I don't know, Deadshot Minotaur. Let's do it.
All right. Here is Violent Outburst. So we're going to find another living end here in a moment.
There it is.
Okay.
Now, Ben can still do stuff with the living end on the stack. Neither of these cards has resolve. Yeah, the Violent Outburst and the living end both staying on the stack, so Ben can maintain priority and use the Fair Macabre to take care of 2 creatures from the graveyard if he chooses. Which, honestly, he might choose Thing in the Ice and Arclight Phoenix since, the Arclight Phoenix is not a huge deal.
Looks like he's going to take care of both the Arclights.
Okay.
So now Living End's going to resolve, which means that Living End will bring back a couple of Knuckleheads here for Ben. Fairy Macabre, Fulminator Mage, and Arc Fiend, if near. And Peter will get a Thing in the Ice with 4 counters on it.
Man, it's almost the same battlefield he would have had if he had just discarded Fairy Macabre 3 turns ago.
That appears to be the case. Thing in the Ice is down to 3 counters. Maybe Ben's first time playing this matchup, not sure.
That's fine. I'm just saying. Got a card in your deck called Fair Macabre. Just use it sometimes, you know?
Oh, yeah, speed that Thing in the Ice up. Vroom.
It has +1/+1 and haste.
That's nice.
And defender.
That is
also defender. That's the thing.
Look, when you're out here trying to win a tough matchup, sometimes you got to maximize the velocity of Thing in the Ice.
We out here.
Just trying to win his Pete.
Even if Pete draws an island next turn or a blue source, he still can't flip Thing in the Ice. Pretty sure.
I think it can trip into something that transforms it.
Oh, no, he has the maximized velocity, plus I think he still has Serum Vision. So
he's live.
Hey, there's Keswick Wolf Run. That's threatening some damage.
All right, so this is a lot of damage here. It's going to be for 4, 5, 6, 6 and 5, 11.
Yep.
All right.
Pete's got 1 turn to draw blue mana.
He drew Manamorphose. That ain't it. Dead. Pick up your 2 permanents. Go home. Benjamin Lau is going to win game number 1 here over Peter Ingram. As Living End takes care of Is It Phoenix in the first game.
I'm going to throw shade for a sec.
Okay.
This Living End deck must be really good.
I think it's pretty well. I don't know if it's probably pretty well positioned. I don't know. I mean, this is a Phoenix that can't ever win.
We watched Ross peel real good.
Yeah. I guess, okay, so Ingram that turn could have drawn a blue source to play Serum Visions and then Jumpstart Maximize Velocity, which would have transformed Thing of the Ice into Awoken Horror and bounced those creatures.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Arc Fiend Ifnir is not a horror. I can't say with any amount of certainty now.
Well, now that you say it, me neither.
You want to guess?
I do know Horror of the Broken Lands is a horror.
True.
And that is one of the cyclers that they usually play
I wouldn't
now.
be surprised if Arc Fiend is a horror.
Pretty sure it's Demon. Archfiend signifies
strikes,
like, you know.
Yeah. Demon.
Demon confirmed.
Demon
there it
confirmed.
is.
All right, let's go to the sideboard here.
Horror of the Broken Lands, though, definitely in the list.
The tech for the
Let's
matchup.
go.
3 Abrade, 3 Surgical Extraction, 2 Anger the Gods, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, 2 Dispel, a Flame Slash, a Spell Pierce, and a Ral. Is it a Viceroy?
All right. Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit earlier about the sideboard options that Pete has access to. Normally, things like Dispel, not very good here. I think the only cards that can really come in, Spell Pierce, Surgical Extraction, but neither of these are all that great.
On Benjamin Lau's side, 4 Ingot Chewer, 4 Leyline of Sanctity, 4 Leyline of the Void, a lot of pregame effects, along with a...
Hey, you got a bingo on there for that, I think.
Do I? Oh, for pregame effects?
Oh, no, I have a pregame effects. Never
Okay.
mind. All right, we might hit that one.
Anger the Gods, Fairy Macabre, Shriek Maw. I guess old Shrieky?
Yeah, I mean, you just want ways to clean up Thing in the Ice. You want the Fair Macabre to be able to take care of Arclight Phoenix so they can't get one of their nut draws. Anger of the Gods also can help with that. Leyline of the Void, we've talked about, it's not all that great against the Izzet Phoenix deck because they are kind of designed with it in mind. Cards like Crackling Drake over Bedlam Reveler mean that you aren't nearly as affected by effects like Leyline of the Void or Rest in Peace that you normally would be. Other than that, I think Anger of the Gods, Fair Macabre, Shriek Maw, and you can make an argument for a couple Leyline of the Voids just to shut off Arclight Phoenix nut draws, but I don't think it's necessary.
You ready to do a promo?
Yeah.
All right, this is your first shot at game night. Good luck.
Oh, coming in December, that's right now, we have Game Night. This is Bramble Hopper Elite. If you go to go.starcgames.com/game night, you can get your in-store program representative on the phone.
Keep going.
Or not. What's on the next month?
Not over yet.
Yeah, so in January, we got Purduekin. If you type an exclamation point Purduekin in the chat right now, you have a chance to win the Mythic Madness promotion that we've been doing. This is going to be the game night token for January, and also we're going to be doing sleeves now instead of pins.
Okay.
Let's take a look at February. We got Yeti Steady Go, my favorite. That looks like a Yeti.
Is your favorite? Because that's going to replace you as a beast token. So, how do you feel about it now?
I want to fight it.
Okay. That'll be in February where you can fight it.
Yeah.
At your local game night.
Go.starcgames.com/game night. If you do not have game night at your local game store, make sure to tell your local game store owner that you would very much like so, and have them contact in-store representatives at starcgames.com.
Not bad.
It wasn't great, though.
Some work to be done.
Well, yeah, I did. You threw it at me when I wasn't even ready. I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
You bet I did.
You have there's probably like a piece of paper somewhere that's just like, this is what you say. Like Mr. P. Hoffling's like, I want you to say this.
An info sheet.
About my programs.
Yep.
And if you don't, you're fired.
Well.
And now I'm half fired. I did a half job.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm sure the Twitter crowd will give you some positive feedback. That's what I imagine.
You did a good job shilling, Todd.
At Strong Sad.
You're just a good shilling.
Here's a Thought Scour. I'm going to target himself, Peter Ingram. Faithful Suiting and Manamorphose will be placed into the graveyard. And now, many things in a lot of icicles. Heading back over to Benjamin Lau, who's going to do some cycling.
Yeah, Thing in the Ice, one of my favorite cards ever printed. It was one of the key 2-drops alongside Jace Vryn's Prodigy in my Pyromancer's Goggles decks. A way to generate a lot of advantage by playing a bunch of Tormenting Voice type effects in my deck.
Well, Shriek Maw just took care of Thing in the Ice, unfortunately, for Peter Ingram. That's one of his ways to go about winning the game. And if a living end does resolve, which I imagine it will at some point, Shriek Maw will come back and kill the old Thing in the Ice again. So not great start here for Ingram based off of what he's seen from Lau.
One of the strengths of Shriek Maw in the deck, yeah, the creature will come back, but so will Shriek Maw to check it again. But it keeps it from doing anything absurd in the early turns of the game. So really just buying time for Benjamin to keep churning through his deck and find one of those Violent Outbursts or Demonic Dreads.
Ingram going to draw 2 cards here with Faithful Suiting. Going to find 2 cards to discard.
You see him taking on discarding these 2 lands. The last game he got mana screwed from the Fulminator Mage and the Beast Within. Going to rethink that one.
Looks like Bolt and Scalding Tarn to go to the graveyard. A Scalding Tarn is going to stay in Ingram's hand. So we're going to go back over to Benjamin Lau, who's, again, off to a nice little start here. Picked up a copy of Simian Spirit Guide. This deck does play many copies of that card to increase its speed. Not much past that as a cycle here of Horror of the Broken Lands. Means that 2 of those are in the graveyard along with a copy of Shriek Maw.
Yeah, here Benjamin just trying to find the right turn to put his creatures onto the battlefield. If he is familiar with Ross Merriam's deck list from last week, he should know roughly 72 or more of the cards in this Izzet Phoenix deck and know that there's only a handful of ways, 2 or 3, for him to be able to interact with Living End.
Ingram's going to sacrifice a Scalding Tarn and get himself a basic mountain.
Crackling Drake here would go a long way in getting the party started, but I don't think it would be enough.
Yeah, I think the way for Ingram to steal games in this matchup is Crackling Drake plus maximize velocity. But that requires a decent amount of setup and time, and those are things that just are not really afforded to him, unfortunately.
I mean, he also only has one copy of maximized velocity, so it's not even something he can rely on for the most part. I mean, at this point, Ben is just taking his time. Pete hasn't presented him with a threat outside of that first thing in the ice. Hasn't put an Arclight Phoenix into the graveyard yet. And Benjamin just going to keep on cycling until he finds the right spot to cast that Living End and apply maximum pressure.
One on top, one on the bottom for the Scry from Serum Visions. Next up is Faithless Looting here for Ingram, so he'll draw 2. One is Anger of the Gods, the second is a Manamorphose. Pardon me, actually an Arclight Phoenix, I think. I take that back.
Pete picked up a Phoenix on the Scry, actually bottomed a Thing in the Ice, which I would have loved to have seen him Faithless Looting and discard the Thing in the Ice as well as the Arclight Phoenix, since he already had... oh no, that last card's a Spell Pierce. I thought it was a Serum Visions. So he actually does have his one way to interact with the cast Living End. So if he plays... Ooh.
He thought about playing Manamorphose to get back Arclight Phoenix.
Huh.
So I think the reason Pete is weighted here simply because he feels like he might have to get kind of lucky. Maybe he casts the Living End next turn, gets the opportunity to Spell Pierce, and never finds a way to cascade into it again, right?
Sure.
It's a big-time finger cross, but this matchup is so bad here for Ingram that, look, if you got to get lucky, you got to get lucky.
Sure. No, I like it. I mean, he could also just find Surgical Extraction and take away either the Shriek Maw or the 2 Horror of the Broken Lands out of the graveyard, which is also something to give him a shot to win. It's one of the things about Modern that's very interesting and very unlike the other formats is that you have matchups that feel just so incredibly polarized. You know, like this Living End versus Phoenix deck, if you just look at both decks on paper, I don't feel like Izzet Phoenix has very much of a chance at all. That's just not true in a lot of cases in Standard. Or even Legacy, for that matter.
I agree with that. Lau's going to sacrifice Verdant Catacombs. Fall down a little bit lower. And let's see what land he wants to dig up. He'll go with a Stomping Ground untapped. Now keep in mind he does have a copy of Simian Spirit Guide in hand. So were he to go for Living End here, and Peter were to play Spell Pierce, the combination of an untapped land and a Simian Spirit Guide would be able to trump that. Well, curious to see if that's what Lau wants to go for, or does he maybe want to just suspend Living End and take a slower approach to this game? Five mana. Oh, well.
Love it. Your opponent's not doing anything, only has 3 cards in hand. Hard cast your 5/4.
Yeah?
Just get him.
This is actually really tough for Ingram, too, because this entire game, you assume, right, if you're playing against Living End, that they have the ability to at least cast Living End once in some capacity, especially with a creature on the battlefield. So what Lau is doing here is he's basically just kind of towering over Ingram and just kind of saying, if things get hairy, I can bring my graveyard back onto the battlefield. I can just do that. There's really nothing you can do about it. Ingram going to play a Manamorphose. And get our handy-dandy mana counters here very quickly. He'll draw a card. He's got an opt in hand now.
Yeah, I think he's really looking to flashback Faithless Looting to get rid of these extra lands, though.
Going to scry 1 here with the opt. See where this card's going to go. All right, he'll keep it.
So Crackling Drake. It's not too shabby.
Ingram might go that route.
And he's going to use the floating mana here in the 2. Playing the land pre-combat, making sure he holds up blue mana for Spell Pierce. Should it end up helping him against a Living End next turn.
That's a little interesting play there. Ingram discarding lands instead of maybe one of the Crackling Drakes.
Yeah, I'm not sure which mode he would want to go here. He's losing currently on the battlefield, though. I like maybe holding one Drake and discarding one Drake, right? Because that would make it so that you can cast a Drake next turn to maybe check the Archfiend, while also making sure you have one in your graveyard in case Benjamin does decide to go for the living end. It's tough, though, because if you discard both, Benjamin can say, okay, well, now I'm just never going to cast this living end. I'm just going to cast creatures from my hand.
Yeah.
You know, he has a reasonable amount of mana. I think he's maybe one short of being able to cast any big creature in his deck. So.
All right, here comes the attack with the Archfiend of Ifnir. 5-power flyer is where Benjamin Lau is going to start. Curious to see if Ingram wants to try to tender a block or just take these 5 points of damage. Looks like he is going to tender a block.
Or not.
Yeah, a little unsure of himself. All right, he'll take the 5. Does Lau have a follow play? To note, Lau, on his turn, drew a copy of Leyline of the Void.
A little late for that one.
Yeah, just a touch.
Just a bit. I would have, if he was going to attack there, I actually like playing Leyline of the Void before attacking, so that you know, if Pete does want to block, the Argyle Phoenix will be gone forever. So it basically just makes your Archfiend unblockable.
Lau thinking about playing Violent Outburst now to resolve a living end. And also has a living end in hand that he can suspend. We don't see that mode on living end often. And like I mentioned about that ley line, he could hardcast that too. He was now going to play Violent Outburst. So he'll go Cascading. There that is. There's a living end. 2 Horror of the Broken Lands and a Shriekmaw in the graveyard.
Attention Magic players, we're looking for 2 more competitors to
So got his damage in with the Archfiend, and now going to bring some big creatures back from the graveyard.
Yeah, the Horror of the Broken Lands getting pumped whenever you decide to cycle a card means that they are pretty stout threats. The Shriekmaw checks the Thing in the Ice that would be coming back from the graveyard, and I believe the only other creature at that point is just the Argyle Phoenix on the battlefield, which would go to the graveyard.
Yep.
So he's trading, essentially he would be trading Archfiend of Infear for 2 Horror of the Broken Lands and a Shriekmaw versus nothing on the other side of the battlefield. That's a pretty good spot to be. Pete basically forced here to use that Spell Pierce. Now, if Benjamin has a Spirit Guide to pay, which he does,
so now
Harry.
Living End's going to resolve. Here come the Archfiend, here come the Horror of the Broken Lands and the Shriekmaw to kill the Thing in the Ice, and now Lau's got a nice little battlefield built up here.
It would have been really funny to me if Pete had gone through, like, the Shriekmaw didn't exist. Pete had gotten to go through all the iterations to transform Thing in the Ice into the Awoken Horror, and then only to realize that doesn't bounce the Horror of the Broken Lands.
Yeah, doesn't return these things. Creature type Horror of the Broken Lands. 5 mana 4/4 from Amonkhet. When you cycle or discard another card, Horror of the Broken Lands gets +2/+1 till end of turn. Only a black to cycle.
Yeah, I think the key here is only 1 mana to cycle. Makes it desirable in a deck like Living End, where you just want a bunch of really big creatures that cycle for a cheap amount of mana. We've seen, you know, in the past builds that play a lot of things like Deadshot Minotaur, creatures that were not very big. You know, the 4 mana 3/3 whose name escapes me, the blue-black one.
Architects of Will, Doug.
Architects of Will, yes. Those being replaced, of course, by Desert Ceradon, the 6 mana 6/4,
yep.
As well as Horror of the Broken Lands, just very large creatures.
Yeah, and I remember when those cards got printed back in Amonkhet a couple of years ago, and people immediately were just like, oh, wow, there's some upgrades finally to Living End, which I'm not sure that was their purpose, but you know what? They count, and they are upgrades over some of the bad cyclers that had to be played beforehand, that's for sure. Ingram is trying to rack his brain and figure out how he gets himself out of this situation because it's not a particularly good one here for him.
Spoiler alert.
2 Crackling Drakes and a thing in the ice here for Peter Ingram.
I mean, he's got a really big Crackling Drake, and I think that's basically his only option here is to just play a big Crackling Drake. I mean, he could just, like, flashback Faithless Looting, try to hit a chain of spells to bring back Arclight Phoenix, but I don't think that's going to get the job done. The problem is any cycling effect from Benjamin represents almost lethal, and he would have to trade. Oh, God, I hope he can survive a turn.
Why?
He drew the maximized velocity.
You sure?
I'm positive.
All right.
Oh, baby. I don't even want to count the graveyard. I'm just hoping it's lethal.
You're just assuming.
Oh, no. Come on. Come on, darling. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is this you audibly
5,
counting the graveyard?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He is short. He is unfortunately short, ladies and gentlemen. Unless, how many Faithless Lootings are flashbacked? He's at 4. No, Benjamin's at 14. What happened?
Cycle to Street Wraith.
That's lethal. That's why it's lethal.
Well, let's see how much damage Benjamin can deal this turn. He's got, it's 6. It's 9 right now with Shriek Maw, plus the Horror of the Broken Lands.
That's lethal.
Or is it?
Yes!
Yes, it still is.
He's going to do it.
Ooh, Ingram's very quickly
Oh, he's
happening.
gonna do it.
Yeah, he's dead. If he's playing this fast, he's dead. Crackling Drake, draw a card, maximize velocity.
Yes. Yes.
You're dead.
Yes.
You're dead.
Yes.
You're dead.
Yeah.
Let's count them together.
It's 15. I already did it. It's 15. I cannot believe he cycled the Street Wraith. It was only lethal because he cycled the Street Wraith.
Attack you. Well, I did not expect to go to a third game here between Peter Ingram and Benjamin Lau, but that's why we play the games. Is it Phoenix all tied up against Living End? Things are getting interesting here in the feature
Something
match
about
area.
this is that Phoenix deck. It just keeps winning out of nowhere.
Really does. Well, we're going to watch more of this third and final game of round number 10. But first, a couple of messages from our friends over at Ultimate Guard. Both those products will be available at StarCityGames.com and other retailers beginning February 1st, 2019. The Ammonite Anti-Theft Backpack and the Katana Sleeves by our friends at Ultimate Guard.
Just want to say I've shuffled the Katana Sleeves. Luckily, Cedric Phillips, who works for Ultimate Guard, had a prototype pack. They are
Shing!
nice.
Shing!
Jerry Thompson had some, and he showed them to me, and I was just like, wow, they shuffled pretty good. He's like, yeah, my friend has played with those for 8 rounds already.
That's right. Yeah, that's
and they're
right.
still dank.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm definitely looking forward to trying out those Katana Sleeves myself when they become available in February.
More information over at ultimateguard.com. Just so you folks know, at the end of this round, we have our Mythic Madness giveaway. Make sure you do use the word !Purdue-kin.
Yeah, that one's not hard to spell.
Type that in, P-U-R-R Dukin.
Yeah, Dukin is D-O-U-E-O-Kin.
That's correct.
Dukin.
Purrdou. Ken Masters from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Dragon Punch. Hurricane Kick.
Yeah, why couldn't we just been per Hurricane Kick? per.
It's not really doesn't have the same ring to it, I would argue, but that's one man's argument. Were you a Street Fighter player?
Yeah.
What was your character?
Blanca.
Nice.
I just spammed electrocute.
Nice.
You know?
Nice.
He just had the best mannerisms, you know?
He's an animal like you.
So
So yeah. Yep. It's perfect.
Dude,
Yeah, actually that would actually
you've seen my beast token, right?
Yeah.
I'm literally just Blanca.
Well, that would be a good Halloween costume for you. Actually.
That's true. Except I would have to put on either a lot of makeup or a green suit.
Yeah, just do it all the way.
Way
Because like
more
you could
work
do
than
your,
I'm willing to
I
do.
definitely think you could do your hair like Blanca
That's fair.
for sure, and then just go animal. We'll get some electricity around you.
I
or
would
something.
probably look better than whoever did Blanca's makeup and hair in the movie Street
Oh
Fighter.
boy,
Because it was nasty.
we try not to talk about that movie
Why?
because it is
It is a classic.
horrible. Van Damme was Guile. That's all you need to know.
Oh, Mr. America, a.k.a. Austrian guy? Are
yeah.
you serious?
Yeah.
What's better is that the guy from Addams Family was the boss man.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. He was M. Bison. Just a truly horrendous movie. And I hope at some point they make a good Street Fighter movie, but I'm not. Well, okay, so here's look. With what they've done
The time has passed.
with what they've done with comic book movies, anything is possible.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Name me like a good video game movie. Just like one.
I'll have to think about it.
Like Blood Rain. Blood Rain was a real good one.
I'll have to think about it. There's got to be at least one good
There's
one.
not. Even the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movie is
No,
like
of course those are bad.
It's the one that people go to the most.
Ugh.
It's not great.
No, it's not good.
Oh,
What about Maximum Pain
Max Payne?
with Mark Wahlberg?
I didn't see that one.
No, it's not
I'm
good.
assuming it was just
It's
a
not
shoot
good.
'em up
Yeah, it's not good.
with no real plot,
No.
no character
What
development.
about Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, okay. That was Michael Fassbender's
Mm-hmm.
version of the Jake Gyllenhaal Prince of Persia movie.
That's actually just true. And Prince of Persia is horrific.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what is this?
Oh, yeah. No, this is Doomblade Your Guy, because I have a Leyline of the Void in play. Thing of the Ice is like one of the only cards that Benjamin's like really afraid of here. And just using, like, he has multiple Cascade cards in hand. And I think just using this to kill the Thing in the Ice, because his hand is not very good, is fine.
All right. Thing in the Ice down.
Clearly, he doesn't have a Cycler in his hand.
That much is clear. As we're going to head back over to Pete Ingram. A Lightning Axe to draw.
Looks like Pete does have access to Crackling Drake in hand, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the way to win the game. We saw it last game.
Yep, and it does get pumped through the Leyline of the Void, which is very important. In my article this week, I actually talked about potentially supplanting Crackling Drake with Enigma Drake because it was just 1 mana cheaper, and the deck seems to not run out of cards very often. But the real strength of Crackling Drake, I think, lies in its ability to fight through all of the graveyard removal.
I agree. That is definitely a bonus. And it mattered that last game. That's for sure. As Ingram's going to play his defense tap and pass the turn back over. Maybe. Yeah, how about a Metamorphose?
Okay. I don't get it. Is this upkeep?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm as confused as you.
Ah. We might
Surgical?
thought scour Surgical,
Okay.
or just hard cast Surgical, targeting Living End, and then we're gonna have a real game on our hands.
Okay, so now he's going to Thought Scour himself. I like this because he's just going to try to kill with Crackling Drake and Surgical. Okay, well,
This is it. This is how you do it.
how did we get here?
Well, Benjamin kept a Looser Gooser with a Leyline of the Void. He willy-nillied a Demonic Dread on a Living End, and his hand is bad. Like, awful, gross bad, to the point where Benjamin Lau is probably going to hard cast the Simian Spirit Guide this turn.
Oh, he's going to go. He's going to get
Yeah.
Ape Smash.
His plan this game is to use Demonic Dread for the actual text on the card.
No blocking.
You're crackling, Drake, sir.
No blocking.
You're crackling, Drake.
Yep.
Can't block.
I can't block.
My Simian Spirit Guides, +1 power from Violent Outburst, sir.
This is maybe the worst hand in recorded history.
Yeah. This is my favorite match of all time because you look miserable.
Well,
Best of SCG Live.
Demonic Dread and Violent Outburst don't have text anymore, really. And then there are 2 Simian Spirit Guides.
Yeah, you ain't never cast no Grey Ogre before, sir?
Oh, no, I've cast it many times. Many times.
You know what I would do right now if I were Benjamin Lau?
What's that?
I would exile both Simian Spirit Guides and walk to the bathroom.
Just leave?
Just leave.
Okay.
Because I would have to throw up.
Well, if he does draw like a 5 mana threat, he can use those Simian Spirit Guides and play like an Arc Fiend of Ifnir.
You're right.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
1 mana away from the old Desert Ceradon. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Top of deck. Think about that, Anderson.
I think we're doing it.
Yeah, I think it's not exactly doing.
Except it's not.
That thing's gonna die.
We have Lightning X.
Yeah.
Just for those of you at home, Pete's just leaving his exile zone where his graveyard would normally be, because he doesn't have a way to get Leyline off the battlefield, and it's just easier there instead of a giant pile above his deck or whatever, so he can see everything.
Look at Pete. Pete feeling good. Doesn't even need the maximized velocity anymore.
Oh no, wants as many threats as he can get. Just can't find the land though. That's the thing.
Well, those 2 cards are going to the bottom potentially.
Desperately looking for a land here. Almost positively going to use the Lightning Axe to take care of the Archfiend. Discarding Lightning Bolt seems like the play.
Swing. Arcfiend down. Let's go back over to Lau, who's got, those 2 cards in hand.
It's a land. There
Yes,
it
it is. Back to Pete Ingram. Thing in the ice.
Thought Scout myself. Mill over 2 lands, throw up. Trigger, think of this!
1, 2, draw. Steam Vent's tapped. Pete did miss his thing in the ice trigger. Awkward.
Oh, he's getting antsy. Look at him. He was getting up in his chair.
Yeah, I think Ingram knows he's actually going to somehow win a match that I cannot fathom him winning.
I mean, okay. This is what I like to call the fail rate. In Modern, a lot of these decks that do wonky stuff, even if they are one of the most consistent versions, right? Sometimes they fail. Every deck in Modern has some amount of fail rate. And this is it.
Crackling Drake is currently a 14 power flyer.
That's nice.
Not bad.
It's pretty good.
Not bad.
All right. I hope that Ben Peel Streak Maw just so this game keeps going.
Get a little sweat.
Yeah. Oh, he drew something good. Archfiend? Street Wraith? Oh, it's a Street Wraith. He's thinking about cycling it because he's at 17. He cycled Street Wraith last game and it killed him.
Yep. Big draw. Can't wait to see what this is. Ooh, 3 mana. Look out. Nope, yep. Bang. Todd Anderson, come on down.
Put me on, coach. I'm ready to play. Dude,
you even get to attack?
that beast token's just not even going to block soon.
Nope.
It's just totally not going to be able to block next turn.
Another Crackling Drake. Draw and play Spirebluff Canal. Your turn. You're dead. Pete Ingram's going to win this game and match over Benjamin Lau 2-1. Is it Phoenix in an upset victory here over at Living End? Ingram going to move on to 8-2, pleasing, I'm sure, Ben Friedman.
Oh, yeah. Pleasing Ben Friedman, pleasing any of the proponents of the Is That